Hey there, how y'all doing? This is Data on Trail. I'm at Burningtown Gap, and I'm out here so early that there's an echo on trail because there's almost nobody else out on trail yet. It's about 7 or 7:15, and Wendy from Gorgeous Days just dropped me off, and I'm about to head up the trail. It's actually back here behind me. It's pretty overgrown this year, but yeah, the sun is up and I'm getting ready to head out. So, and I'm slack packing, so I only have a day's worth of rations in my backpack and some water, stuff like that. So you can kind of see what I mean by the trail is a little overgrown. And I'm out early enough and there's been enough rain that there's dew and moisture on the grass beside the trail. Today's slack packing hike is 12.5 miles long. There are 2,300 feet plus of ascending and 4,600 feet of descending. So there's my second blaze of the day. Of that 2,800 plus feet of ascending, the bulk of it is here first thing in the morning. So I guess I could focus on the first flowers of the morning. And I don't know what those are, but there are also still some mountain laurels over there in bloom. Well, I'm about 1.2 miles in. I've been hiking for a little over 30 minutes. So that's really good time, considering it was almost all climbing. And I've come upon what I think is the Cable Gap Shelter. I don't know if there's anybody here, so I was going to shoot a little bit of video from this side as I walk up on it, because it's right on the trail. But if there's nobody here, maybe even if there is, stop and take a little break. It's empty. There's camping 1 miles that way. Somebody has added a homemade note years ago which says, "with a view." And I hear a spring. I think it's right down there. But I don't think I need any water just yet. But I do think I may sit for a minute. Just take a little short pack-off break. It's kind of early to take a break, really. But I'll take a short one, maybe just a standing break. Get some water. Cable Gap is an old enough shelter that it's one of the original CCC shelters. That's the trail right next to it, so it's built right on the trail. And it's built out of those old chestnut logs from when all the chestnut trees gave way to that blight in the 30s. So it's a pretty simple shelter, but I hope we keep saving these. There's something appropriately rustic about it. And I said I thought I heard a water source, and sure enough, there's a water source. It's a piped spring, and it's flowing pretty good today. And it's right in front of the shelter. So, and I'll leave out this way in just a minute after I get my water bottle out. And then off in the distance you can see some of the other mountains, just barely through the trees. So, anyway, time for a break at the Cable Gap Shelter. Here's a close-up of those flowers, which I think might be azaleas. Really kind of dramatic flowers first thing in the morning. So this is the Copper Ridge Lookout. I'm about an hour into my day and I've gone 1.9 miles. This is a viewpoint called Rocky Bald. It's about 2.9 miles into my day, and I'm just short of the 2-hour mark. So this was a short blue blaze off trail, but I think it was worth the climb. And I think I'm actually going to sit down here and take a short break and hydrate and try to stretch a little bit. I've done almost all of the climbing to be done today. So this Rocky Bald viewpoint was a little bit of a ascent up, but not, a couple hundred feet. It was a nice side trail. And I've told myself from now on I'm going to try to take more of the side trails and enjoy the journey as well as the destination as I hike the AT. And also behind the Rocky Bald, there's what looks like a little campsite area. So this is Telco Gap, or Teleco Gap, where the telephone company ran the lines through here years ago. It's not much but a couple of parking pads and a gravel road, but there are pretty nice views out both sides. And I think I'm going to find a place in the shade up the trail a little bit. Take a little shoes off, pack off break. I had a 15-minute break at Teleco Gap and started hiking again. Came across this viewpoint looking to the west, or the southwest more likely. I'm headed up this direction. I did, for the first time in 3 hours today, come across another set of hikers. They were some Europeans visiting us, German I think, maybe Dutch. We did my kind of hiking, really. Out here, got the trail all to myself. The trail is in pretty good shape. I've run across no problems with blowdowns or washouts or anything. To the degree that there was damage from the hurricanes last year. Trail maintenance crews have come through and done a really nice job in this section so far, cleaning everything up. I did go by a couple of big blowdown root balls, but they were off to the side of the trail. And other than that, it's been a pretty good day. This is the last summit of my day today. It's about 6.2 miles in. It's the Weiser Bald. There's a fire tower off to my right, another 100 feet up, but I'm not making that climb because I'm a little low on water. I have enough to get down the hill to the next 0.7 of a mile. There's a piped spring, which all reports indicate should have plenty of water in it. So this is the trail coming down off Weiser Bald. You can see how overgrown this is. So some viewers might have noticed that I hike in long pants and a long sleeve shirt. And they're partly because they're SPF rated, and partly because they give me lots of coverage from ticks and other things in these kinds of conditions. tell you what, when you're out of water, coming up the trail on a hot day on the Appalachian Trail, there is no sweeter sound to the ear than to hear running water, even before you see it coming out of a piped spring in the mountain. So I've drawn 3 liters. And I'm going to filter about 1.5 liters and drink it while I sit here eating lunch over here. And then I'm going to filter the other 1.5 liters and try to head on out. For other hikers, this is a side trail. There's a sign at the end of a switchback that says water. So the trail goes to your left and this trail is off to the right, maybe 20 yards until you get to where you can see and hear that piped spring. So anyway, the path is pretty overgrown, and lo and behold, wouldn't you know, I came through a blowdown. So this looks like it's about the right age to be one of last year's hurricanes. And I don't fit under this one, so I guess I'm going to go over it. Just going to straddle it like it's a horse. Whew. That wasn't too bad. That is the first blowdown of any kind that I've seen on this segment of trail. And like I said, I'm 7.8 miles in. But up here on the ridge line, Mother Nature's busy trying to take her trail back. This is the viewpoint to the west. Starting the descent down to the N.O.C. And the highest ridges you can see off in the far distance are the mountains in the Smokings that I'll be hiking up to later on this week. The sky keeps getting more and more overcast, but I haven't heard thunder in a while. And it clears up and we get peaks of sunshine once in a while. And it might rain on me, but so far, knock wood, it's looking like I might get through the hike today dry. Well, except for 5 gallons of sweat that's pouring off of me. So, I finished up my 12.5 mile day, and it took me a solid 10 hours to do that, counting breaks and all that. I ended up running a little short on water because I didn't plan well and took the wrong water bottles. But it wasn't deadly, it was just uncomfortable the last 4 or 5 miles because my water was running low, and there were water supplies on trail, but they weren't good. I tried to draw from one for a minute and it was pointless. So now I'm going to take a shower, put on some loaner clothes, get the folks here to do my laundry, and then I will come back and hang out in my house, which is actually just beyond the Red Wolf Inn right there, and have some dinner, and do some planning, because my plan for tomorrow's hike has changed in a good way.